This is the Russian MIR Space Station, orbiting around the Earth, abandoned on July 10, 2000. During this time, the MIR was the largest artificial satellite in the world, and on this day, MIR will orbit around the Earth at approximately 17,200 miles per hour and make the usual 15.7 complete orbits around the Earth like it did every day. This wouldn't be the case forever for the space station, as in only a couple of months from this time, the MIR Space Station will not be gracefully traveling above Earth's atmosphere. Rather, instead, the MIR will be plummeting back to Earth in a massive fireball. MIR was launched into orbit by the Soviet Union on February 20, 1986 as a core module. It represented the next generation of space stations, as prior to MIR, space stations were tiny short-term capsules used for research and military purposes. MIR was different from these stations as it was planned to be a long-term modular-built space station which would last 5 years. However, MIR greatly outlasted this expiration date and was built with 6 other modules over a timeline of 10 years. From 1986 to 2000, MIR held 125 astronauts from a variety of countries, including United States, Germany, Japan, and France. These astronauts would enter and exit MIR 3 at a time and would perform a variety of experiments regarding topics such as biology, physics, astronomy, and meteorology. Through MIR's lifespan, over 23,000 scientific experiments were performed. However, this constant activity led to an unexpected issue: trash buildup. MIR's form of waste disposal was to send trash aboard departing supply vessels. This clearly was inefficient for the amount of waste being produced on MIR, as trash buildup got so bad that these supply vessels couldn't fit all the trash aboard them, and mold and microbes the size of small balls started appearing inside of MIR's service panels. Mike Foale, a NASA astronaut who went aboard MIR, quoted the trash problem inside, saying MIR looked a bit like a frat house, but more organized and better looked after. This wasn't the only issue aboard MIR, as many accidents and incidents happened during his lifetime, which in some cases almost caused complete destruction and disaster of the space station. The first of these accidents occurred in 1994, when a departing Soyuz capsule bumped into MIR's crystal module twice, causing slight damage to the module. This type of incident happened again in 1997, when a resupply vessel collided with MIR's Spectre module. This time the collision was much worse and caused a depressurization inside the whole space station. Spectre had to be sealed off completely by the astronauts on board in order to prevent the whole space station from losing air pressure. Another major incident occurred on MIR in 1997, when a fire broke out inside of an oxygen generating system. This fire lasted 15 minutes and caused the MIR to fill up with smoke. Thankfully, the crew members extinguished this fire before it could cause great damage to the space station and the astronauts. MIR also suffered many power issues and computer malfunctions throughout its lifetime due to failures of electron electrolysis, oxygen aerating units, and problems with altitude and environmental controls. These incidents, as well as aging and Russian funding being directed towards the new ISS program, caused MIR to be abandoned on June 16, 2000, following the departure of MIR's last astronauts, Sergei Zalotin and Alexander Kraliri. On October 19th of that same year, a Progress M43 spacecraft arrived at MIR to boost the station to a higher orbit to allow it to get ready for deorbit in the following year. A month after this, the decommission of MIR was officially announced by the Russian government, marking the beginning of the end for MIR. MIR's deorbitization was monitored by an international group of members from both the Russian Flight Control Center and the European Space Operations Center. This group of operators calculated, predicted, and orchestrated the steps needed to safely deorbit MIR into a location with no human life. The location chosen for MIR to deorbit into was the South Pacific Ocean. On January 27, 2001, a Progress M15 spacecraft arrived at the MIR carrying 5,900 pounds of propellant for deorbit. Progress pushed MIR into controlled deorbit, causing MIR to lose altitude of around 200 to 650 meters per day. By the start of March, MIR's altitude dropped to 164 miles, 68 miles lower than MIR's average apogee when it was in standard orbit. MIR's descending speed also increased to 1 mile per day. This descent put MIR into the thermosphere and caused it to periodically heat up. On March 23rd, Progress fired most of its thrusters for 22 minutes, rapidly decreasing MIR's altitude from from 136 miles to 117 miles. MIR orbited around the Earth once after this. Then again, progress pushed MIR even further down towards the Earth, giving MIR an altitude of 94 miles after 24 minutes. MIR did a final 2 complete orbits around the Earth before Progress's final burn. After these 2 orbits were complete, Progress, using its thrusters and main engine, pushed the MIR down with a thrust of 660 pounds until it completely lost fuel. MIR lost radio contact with the control centers at this point and started to burn up into the atmosphere at 62 miles above Earth. MIR broke up into large pieces of debris during this burning process and landed in a spread out area around 1,800 miles away from New Zealand. In total, the deorbitization process took around 3 months and costed tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. This is Sharkman. See you next time.